A frame making is a complex process. I've always liked wood, but I've never looked at it critically. And so when I started looking at wood in terms of frames, I started seeing it different. You see the grain different, you see the lines, you see the cut, you see the colors differently because you're imagining them in 1.5 to 2.5 inch pieces, slabs, rips of cut. Ultimately, I decided if I was going to do this right, I need to get the right tools. So I picked up some power tools, got a miter saw, got a random orbital sander, a table saw attachment to a shopsmith, a disc sander attachment to a shopsmith, which is what I use now instead of the orbital. Stuff that you can make a precise angle with and sand it down very precisely. I have a local guy here in town who has about 3 or 4 storage units full of exotic woods that he sells out of his storage units, and I'll go to him. And so I'll start with a board, and I'll rip the board, depending on how wide it is, depending on the application, I'll rip the board into 2 or 3 pieces, 2 inches wide or so. Then I miter it, and the mitering part is actually, it's difficult to get the miters exact. So I spend quite a bit of time doing the miter. It's exact. There's really no fudging it because there's nothing about frames that's hidden. They're so exposed. So if you don't get your corner right, it's obvious and it looks sloppy. Under all circumstances, a frame shouldn't be the main attraction. A frame should almost take a back seat to the image. It's like an opening act of a concert. You don't want to put your audience to sleep with your opening act. You don't want to offend them, but nobody goes there to see the opening act. You go there to see the main attraction. And I think frames are the same way. I glue it up, I let it dry overnight, and when it's dry, I sand it. And I sand it so finely that that process could theoretically complete the look of the frame. I mean, it's pristine. After I'm done assembling it and sanding it, it could be finished. It's beautiful. Production actually enhances the look of the wood. It doesn't hide anything about the wood. I'm not talking about opaque finishes like paints. I'm talking about natural finishes like oils. It actually enhances the grain. The darkness of the grains will be actually brought out. They'll be enhanced. The figures of the wood will be enhanced. Wood is an amazing material. Perhaps it's most appreciated by the hands that make it. I know all of its flaws. I know all of its beauty. I've looked at it, I've scrutinized it, I've criticized it. I've seen every figure in the wood, every color in the wood. And so it's meaningful, at least to me. I could make frames all day long. That's a very satisfying process. When I'm able to pair a frame with photography, that's what it's all about. I think it's amazing to put a beautiful picture into a beautiful frame and appreciate that as a piece of art.